Welcome back to Sports Talk ATL's college football gambling locks. Week 0 is in the rear view. It was a relatively rough week for everybody except for me. I mean, I'm sorry. USC overs, like not covering. That's basically what Lincoln Riley is known for, not covering and no defense. But we're here to week 1. We got a nice slate, a few big games starting on Thursday. Do we want to start with the Florida-Utah game? Because that's the big game on Thursday.
Yeah,
and that's the one we've seen a ton of line movement from that.
It's pretty. Yeah, I think it's pretty much guaranteed that Cam Rising's not playing. Spread's gone it went from 7 down to 4. It went back up to 7. Now it's back down to 4. I got it at 7.
Pete Thamel said that he's doubtful, so I think that's official.
Yeah, I mean the writing's on the wall, especially with the spread. They're going to be playing a third string quarterback. I got Florida at +7. I probably wouldn't touch it at anything lower, but I can live with a touchdown.
I see it at 5.5 right now. So if you haven't bet it yet, like me. But listen, guys, who's the coach of Florida? Can someone say his name? Who's the coach of Florida?
I don't know.
That guy's
really nobody.
He's a joke. He's not going across the country getting his team, his new quarterback, prepared for a well-oiled machine that is Utah. Every year, this team is good. This is a revenge spot. I don't care who's the quarterback. They're not going to need to throw the ball because Florida's not going to score. This Billy Napier, Billy Napier, he sucks. Florida or Utah -5.5. Put on the board.
It's a low scoring game. It's a very low scoring game.
Yeah, I think the under's gone down too. I just got a notification that we had some line. The over went down, but yeah, I would probably play the under in this game.
I think at this stage, you're better off just getting Florida money line. Like I think Florida is going to keep it close and probably win it. But yeah, I mean, 4.5 is a rat line. If you're going to take Florida, you might as well just take money line, in my opinion. But I'm not going to take it.
I could definitely lose by a field goal.
Yeah, I have a lot of friends who are Florida fans, and it's fun because now I'm like, yeah, okay, Cam Rising's not playing, but now it's going to be really embarrassing if y'all lose because I'm pretty sure this guy is the third string quarterback that they're playing.
It is going to be embarrassing, and they are going to lose because they suck.
As long as they don't lose by 7.5.
Larson, you got anything?
No, I haven't bet it. I think I just think it's a 21-20 game waiting to happen, I think. But it's so much line movement, I've stayed away.
I like Florida shutout. Give me the odds on that.
I got great CLV. Great CLV. That's all I can say about it. Even if I lose, I got great CLV.
NC State and UConn. UConn +15.
I think, Larson, did you take the under in this game?
I did not.
Maybe that was big.
Frisky, though.
Yeah, UConn's a little frisky.
But I think
last year.
I think NC State can be decent this year, but we saw them last year kind of stumble in week 1 where they come out of the gates and they need like some warm up time. So probably no bet for me on this.
I mean, this is only what, a 14, 15 point spread. I mean, it's not.
15.
Not.
It was 16 at one point. So
yeah, opened at 16, now 15.
Interesting.
Minnesota and Nebraska, more Thursday night football. This is a nice little slate for a Thursday night to get us started.
It's not too bad.
I like it. I've
should
been
have more
bagging
games
on
on
Nebraska.
Thursday.
I've been bagging on Nebraska, and Jake sent me something about how they really have been good, just a solid team for the past decade. And I do believe in Matt Rule, so I'm kind of talking myself into Nebraska +7.
That was Wisconsin. That was Wisconsin.
Bro, Nebraska. I was about to say, I was like, Nebraska.
Yeah, there's no way. That's my bad.
I was like, dude, I hate Nebraska. What are you talking about?
My bad.
That's Wisconsin. No.
I would consider the under in this game because Minnesota's replacing like all of their players.
Go for
it. Yeah. It's also the 1 year anniversary of the Jeff Brom screw job last year against Penn State, the Purdue game. So pay your respect.
Yeah, I'm staying away from that one. ATS off. I'm scrolling. Oh, we got the U versus Miami of Ohio. Who is the real Miami?
I have a play for this game. I took the under.
Under 46. God, these are some low unders. They're predicting some boring games.
I have so many unders. I don't think I took any overs. I was a square this week and I took like 6 unders, but I feel like the games are going by a lot faster. They probably aren't in reality, but it feels like they are.
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot about the new rules. That's stupid.
Is that just the first half, or is that always?
It's until 2 minutes.
Michigan State CMU.
Yeah, I took under 45.5. My bad. Anyways,
this is a sneaky one. I think a lot of smart people like Central Michigan.
Yeah, because Michigan State sucks.
Got nothing right. They could be pretty bad. So no.
Yeah,
a lot of smart people like Central Michigan is what you said.
Yes.
Percentage of bets, that doesn't mean anything, but percentage of bets, 75% are on Central Michigan. I hate Michigan State.
Well,
most overpaid coach in football, probably.
Here's the weird part, though, about week 1 percentages is you have smart people make the bets over the offseason, and then all of the casuals will see them and flock to that. So you'll get smart picks, like maybe Central Michigan's a smart pick, and they have 91% of the public because that's just
why would smart picks make the like. We just saw Utah's quarterback is out. There's no way you could have known that 2 months ago.
Yeah, yes, you did. He got
3 months ago. Okay, what about Mason Smith's suspension? You know, that sort of thing where things are just brought up. That doesn't seem
I'm not saying it's for every game. I'm saying when the smart guys have picks they really like, all the people who come in for football season, like, hey, I'm going to bet. Oh, this guy likes this thing. Let's all bet this one. Everyone bets that team. So
all right, enough of this.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a
ruling. Move on. Louisville, Georgia Tech. I like Louisville minus.
I gotta make a ruling here. I gotta. This is rat line of the week. I'm gonna call one out every week. Rat line of the week. Why is this an 8-point spread? It's an 8-point spread. Why is this? That's a rat line.
I see 7.5.
Okay. Well, you know what I do. You know what I do. I eat those. I eat that cheese. Louisville minus 8.
I'm just calling it like I see it. Rat
Georgia Tech is an absolute dumpster fire garbage.
Exactly. So why are they only 7-point underdogs?
You know what?
They're
I don't
an ascending program.
Vegas doesn't know it. What are they?
Yes,
what are they ascending to? A 3-1.
They got an alumni at head coach, and that's the most important thing.
Yeah.
Right, Georgia.
Ascend to a 4-win season.
Facts. Alex knows what he's talking about.
Hawaii and Stanford.
I took Hawaii money line. That's an official play.
That's crazy.
Stanford's gonna be awful, dude. Stanford is not good. Stanford is a bad football team, and Hawaii actually looked pretty decent against Vandy.
Isn't it going to be wild that in 2 weeks, like the first 2 weeks, Jake is going to be screwed by Hawaii? Like this is where you're laying your cash on.
It would technically be twice because I had Vandy last week.
That's what I'm saying. So you should just stop betting on Hawaii games.
Hey, my first bet of the season back in June was Hawaii +9 against Stanford. So I have Hawaii +9.
Yeah, you get a great CLV on that because it's like
I would also play it at 3. Like I think Hawaii's going to win the game straight up. So
it's 7.
Stanford is bad.
And Hawaii's decent. Like I know it was Vanderbilt and all, but Hawaii actually looked competent. I mean, I think Hawaii's going to win the game. So
they're airing it out a little bit. Yeah, I like it. And they're like I said, home game too. Home dog.
Can they even get there?
I don't know, man.
Hey, come on. We're a Hawaii podcast.
We're pro Hawaii.
Purdue and Fresno State.
Oh, favorite play of the week probably is the under in this game.
Yes, I agree. I have Fresno +5 and under 49.5.
I took a money line and I took him +5. I got Fresno.
It's one of the better ones. Yeah. Fresno's got like the 2 best units in this game are going to be Fresno's defense and Purdue's defense. Fresno's defense last year was actually really sneaky good. Top 30 nationally. They gave up less than 20 points per game. They were actually they were dogs. So bring back really good offensive line. Their skill positions need work, but they'll be fine. I think they have a quarterback who played a few games last year when Haener was hurt. So it's not exactly ideal for Purdue, who's starting a new quarterback and having to throw new weapons to go up against the defense. So
didn't you say they're returning 8 starters and 10?
Oh yeah, the Fresno defense that was really good last year returns 8 starters and 11 of the players are seniors. So it's this is a good group, and it's a 2014 kind of game. I think it's really low scoring.
Yeah.
All right.
Go Fresno.
Put it on the board for me too. You sold me. I'm on there.
Fresno.
I'm a big Fresno State Bulldog this week.
Fresno under, baby. All right, we got a SEC team up next. Tennessee against Virginia.
This is one of my big plays of the week. I got Tennessee -28. I think Virginia is going to be god awful. Tennessee loves to run it up on bad teams. I think this one gets ugly.
I agree with Jake. Virginia's coming off an emotional. This is their first game since that tragic shooting. Tennessee's trying to prove it that Joe Milton's the guy. I'm sure Josh Heupel, he's got a little bit of Lincoln Riley in him where Jake's right. They just like to run up the score. All they know how to do is score and score fast.
Trust me, I know.
I also am going to take I'm going to take -28 as well for Tennessee.
I had a parlay last year that for $10,000 last leg was Missouri to cover against Tennessee. The game.
I remember that.
The game's 28-24, and all of a sudden Tennessee decides to hang like
Tennessee won like 56-28 or something.
Dude, and then Joe Milton comes in the fourth quarter and he's throwing bombs. I'm like, dude, what is going on?
But yes, Virginia is not going to be a good football team. They lost their quarterback, Brandon Armstrong, who's probably their only good player. They lost like 5 players on their defense. Didn't really replace him. They're going to stink. Under 3.5 wins on them. We did that. Me and Lars did that in our ACC preseason win totals. If you haven't seen that, go watch those. Tennessee is just going to try to. They like to do that. They just like to rub bad teams' nose in it. And I don't think that's cool.
SMU and La Tech.
Be careful. Careful on this one, because I think a lot of people are going to watch Louisiana Tech last week and say they suck. Let's bet SMU. But I mean, La Tech did dominate the box score. That was a miserable game to watch.
If you watch that game, you saw
miserable.
Yeah, I lost money on it, but
it's not UTEP or anything, but it was miserable.
Yeah,
the UTEP game almost had a good ending though. Almost
the first screw job of a new season.
Yeah,
that made me so mad.
BC and IU.
No thanks.
Oklahoma, Arkansas State. Ooh, I might like Arkansas State.
I was kind of thinking that. I don't have any numbers to support that, but I just don't believe in Oklahoma. So
I don't.
35.5 is crazy.
This is just a pure Oklahoma is garbage. But you know what? Like garbage.
Their offense was pretty good last year, and their defense was what was terrible. That's
truly
the
garbage
thing.
teams. Truly garbage teams. Like do really well sometimes. I feel like to open the season, like just like absolutely slaughter some piece of crap team.
But it's also this is one of those I could easily turn the TV on and be like, oh, they're down 55-0. Sick.
Yeah. And it's like the third quarter and they're going to a running clock, and you're like, Jesus Christ. I know we're gonna have some picks on this one. TCU and Colorado. I'm on the horny.
Every which way.
Frogs. The horny frogs.
-12.5. Colorado team total under 19.5. This is gonna be a biblical ass whooping.
I see 20.5. TCU, yeah, and it's not just that Deion. I don't know. I don't think Deion Rivers-Head. That's crazy to say. I think that he could build a decent program out there. It's crazy to see their team from last year to this year. It's like closer to his Jackson State team. Like it's a JUCO. Yeah. It's a terrible talent, and I think
they gave up 250 rushing yards a game last year. They are going to get squashed. This team was in the national championship last year.
People act like TCU didn't make the national championship.
Yeah, that's crazy.
They're going to wipe the floor with them. It is going to be a biblical ass whooping. I'd take double the spread. I'd take it if it was 40.
TCU.
I'm on there.
Yeah, I wanted to take their team total over TCU's. I still might, but I think the unders come down a little bit, and I know it's like still 63, but they either think Colorado scores 0 points or that this is maybe TCU puts up like 31 or something.
Colorado total under 19.5.
It opened at 20, and I see it at 20.5 right now. That's crazy to me that people
because
are actually.
The players are betting Colorado.
It was sitting at 21.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Colorado is like the 4th highest bet team to make the playoffs. People are donating money.
That's going to be one of the most watched games of the weekend too, because of prime time, obviously. And it's going to be ugly. It's going to be ugly.
Let's also not forget that this is literally a 10:00 game for them. Like this game is played at 12 Eastern time.
Hey, week 2, big noon kickoff is at Colorado, so I think it starts at 10:00 there or something like. That's
like 9. Yeah,
that's brutal.
That is wild. That is wild. All right, Iowa and Utah State. I mean, do we just start betting Iowa unders already?
I was going to say, how does Utah State score in this game? Like, Utah State is horrible. People don't know that. Utah State is horrible. How are they going to score? And Iowa scoring 44? Is Iowa scoring 44 by themselves? I don't think so.
Well, why don't we just take Utah State under? Because it looks like they have their under at, 18 or something? 17?
That's a good point. Let's see what it is. That's a good question. Yeah, I don't see, I don't know how they're supposed to score. I'm going to see what it has on here for team total. It has 9.5 for Utah State.
Well, then how is this over under 43?
It says Iowa's team total is 32.5. We haven't seen that in my lifetime, I don't think.
Iowa was a 32 point per game offense in 2019 or something, a long time ago.
I have no
idea. The thing is with Iowa, Iowa has a cakewalk schedule, and if their quarterback's better, I think they actually will be respected. They'll be 9-3. They'll be back to old respectable Iowa instead of oh my God, I cannot believe this is an FBS offense.
My eyes.
Yeah. I mean, they always play good defense though.
Yeah,
I do.
I don't know. I guess I'll stay away. I guess I'll watch one game of Iowa before I start betting on every under of theirs. Kentucky versus Ball State.
Shout out Ball State, by the way, playing playing at Kentucky and then coming to Athens next weekend. Rest in peace.
Probably an under, but nothing on that.
Bowling
They're
Green
going to be
Liberty.
taking home like 1.5 mil after those 2 weeks.
They will.
They're
Good
about
for
to
Ball
cash
State.
in.
Liberty. Too bad Hugh Freeze isn't there anymore.
Yeah,
I'd be
Hughes is
hammering
gone,
this.
really.
No thanks. I'm good on that.
Yeah.
Michigan and Eastern Carolina.
I like Michigan big spreads early in the year, but East Carolina's kind of frisky. So
and
Yeah,
Harbaugh's not there. I don't know how much that actually matters, but
It doesn't at all, I don't think. No, I was
dude,
trying to
those
think about-
kids on Michigan are legitimately twice the size of those ECU kids.
Well, like, so I thought about an over, but the whole running clock thing has got me all screwed up. I did think about
they're going to run the ball. I would not take a.
exactly. So
But they're going to run the ball and just gash them.
So what about Michigan first half team total over 24.5? Look at their last five non-conference games other than Washington to start the season. They scored, these are the first half point totals: 38, 42, 35, 27, and then there was a 23 in there.
I also think JJ McCarthy's going to throw the ball, bro. Like, he's good. Like, he's not like the typical Michigan quarterback they've had in the past.
I'm
Here's
thinking
the
about
thing.
that team
Not a
total
JJ
over.
guy.
ECU is just not like Michigan's offensive line is so massive. Like they're not going to be able to do anything against them. Like
Yeah, it's going to be bully ball for sure.
ECU lost several key defensive players on their team, and they gave up 300 yards passing. Per
Did
game.
we just do some research and just go Michigan first half?
Yeah, that sounds
What
good.
is
What
it?
if they score? What if East Carolina scores? I want the Michigan points. I'll think about it.
They're not going to score against Michigan.
I mean, they might.
Yeah,
dude.
Michigan's defense is sick.
Florida International passed for like 6 yards last week, and they scored twice.
All right, fine. So what's the team total you're saying?
Yeah, F it. Give me
Over
first half team total over 24.5. They can score 4
Keeping
touchdowns.
these on your own.
I'm keeping.
I got this one. I got it.
I'm putting these down. I mean,
Yeah.
we're just doing hardcore work for the people out there. Like, no, you don't get this anywhere. We didn't do our homework beforehand. You're watching it live in action.
This is like the floor on Wall Street. Like we're just sitting here, just absolutely.
Yeah, put it on the board. Let's go. All right, what do we got next?
I don't know. You tell me.
Well, I got some ATS offices. Let's give me Temple and Akron. Ooh, battle. An absolute battle.
I don't know anything about either of those teams, and that just screams under. I don't even know what the number is. It's an under.
Ole Miss and Mercer doesn't have a line on here. What is going on? Washington and Boise State. Washington minus 14.5 against the Broncos.
Me and Larson are kind of aligned on Boise State. Don't really think they're going to be that good.
That's a big line, though.
Not really, not as big as I would probably think, but I don't know. That one feels yucky. I don't want to take that. If that game was at 11:30, I'd probably take it, but I don't want that in the middle.
Well, it would also be 9:30 in Washington. So
yeah, I'm good on that.
Then it's an under.
Yeah.
Rice in Texas. What a game. The old Rice in Texas.
I kind of feel like I want to find a way to bet Rice only because Texas, like,
Daniels.
Come on, man. Texas is looking ahead to next week. They've been looking ahead to the Bama game forever. This is not a full pedal to the metal for the whole game.
Start too, yeah.
Yeah, I mean,
I think on the contrary, Sarkisian is such a douchebag that he's gonna try and just he's a lot like Lincoln Riley. I mean, he's gonna try and put up Heupel. They're just gonna try and put up points.
No, they're nothing like, dude. Sarkisian's a bro, dude. He is a full.
I think you're wrong on this one too, dude. I think he's cool.
Yeah. Dude, Turner loved Sark. He loved.
I think you just made my point.
You just called.
Whoa,
I'm gonna have to give Turner a call while he's on here.
Hey man, calm down.
Everybody's a douchebag. But I still
Except
think
for
this
me.
at the same time, don't you kind of want to be I know you're looking ahead, but don't you kind of want to be looking sharp and kick the dog crap out of this team?
Also, I just think it's fun to just be like that you're just that guy when somebody's like, well, you got Texas on this game. You're like, nah, I took Rice. Be like, oh, this guy must know something.
It could be a live bet Rice at halftime kind of thing when Texas.
We got Indiana and Ohio State next.
This is another big play I have. This is one of my 2 unit plays this week. I got Ohio State minus 28. Indiana stinks. They're bad. They're a bad football team. Ohio State, new quarterback. They're going to be going all game. They're going to try to get Kyle McCord ready, ingratiated. It's still a conference game. They're not playing a bunch of nobodies. This line's already moved to 31. I got it at 28. I think Ohio State slaps them up and down the field repeatedly.
It's pretty crazy though. Ohio State, everybody in like every contender is dealing with quarterback issues. Not issues, but a new quarterback and working through that. And
not LSU.
Not LSU.
Not Georgia. Carson Beck.
I mean, Indiana stinks, I guess, but like I see 30.5. That's a lot.
Ohio State usually.
If they have a guy that can throw the ball at all with those wide receivers, they are going to absolutely wipe the door with them.
Yeah, I saw a picture of him in pads, though. That guy looks like me freshman year. I mean, he does not look like they went from C.J. Stroud, Justin Fields to this guy. I don't know.
Doesn't Devin, whatever that guy's name is, doesn't he wear a weird number too for a quarterback?
Joe Burrow looked like a goober until he got like badass. Like as he got badass, the more better looking he got.
No, as soon as he transferred, I knew.
I want to read
like
a couple
an absolute
numbers
goober his first year.
Hang on, I want to read y'all a couple numbers. So last year, Ohio State beat Indiana 56-14. The year before, they beat them 54-7, and then 2020 it was a close game. 2019, 51-10.
Look at those quarterbacks.
49-26. No, they just smack the shit out of them every time they play. That's my point. Like Ohio State always clobbers Indiana, and Indiana is terrible this year. That's fine. That's my rationale. You can disagree. Take Indiana. Go ahead.
I'm on the Buckeyes.
I'm
on the Buckeyes.
Not that confident.
I'm on the Buckeyes. I mean, I agree. Indiana is terrible, and I think Ohio State. I mean, I just have a tough time that being a close game. If I can talk.
It's
all right.
Square.
Wisconsin minus 27.5 against Buffalo.
No thanks.
Put me down. I got Wisconsin minus 23.5 a few months ago. Buffalo lost a lot of guys on defense, man. Wisconsin's going to come out. You already know Luke Fickell's. He's ready to score some points and show people what's up.
I'm going to go Wisconsin minus 27.5. I'm going to even take it at 25.
It's kind of weird to imagine Wisconsin with a spread offense scoring points. It feels like that's not allowed. That shouldn't be allowed.
Luke Fickell also trained the great Desmond Ridder.
It's true. It's actually why I bet it.
South Florida and Western Kentucky.
I considered the over in this game, but I'm staying away from overs.
70.
Western Kentucky, really good offense, bad defense. South Florida, really bad defense. Yeah, it's 70 points. That's why I wanted to take it. But
that's awesome.
It has come down. That's
awesome.
The spread
come down a little bit.
It was minus 14. It's now minus 11.5. So
I just don't know if I want. Yeah, I don't know if I want.
If our South Florida Bulls could get a huge win, I mean, for the win total over, that's massive. But
that is true.
You're on South Florida win total.
Yeah, 3.5.
God, I love that. I love that.
They're going to beat Bama in week 3.
All day. They're winning. Yeah, they're going to win that game.
All right, UMass and Auburn, minus 39.5 for Auburn. Does the Hugh Freeze show up? Is Auburn now my new team to bet now that Hugh Freeze is there? Because it was
minus 39.5?
Yeah.
It's moved down from what I saw. I see it at 35 now.
Yeah, I was about to say. I
think people saw UMass like move the ball a little bit, and they're like, "Hey,
I have it live minus 39.5."
I see 35.5, and that makes me want to take Auburn. I mean, UMass stinks. That's a lacrosse school. That is not a football school. I believe in Hugh Freeze. That guy can score points. Auburn's still recruiting. I kind of like Auburn.
Hey, take the 35 if you're going to take Auburn, though. Just don't take 39.5.
Yeah. I mean, I'll take whatever I want. I mean,
this is also one of these like, okay, Hugh Freeze first game back in the SEC, like he wants to come out and embarrass.
I'm going to take Auburn minus.
Hugh Freeze also just covers, bro. Like, do you not remember Liberty? They were a damn wagon covering.
I was the head of the. I remember. Do you think I wasn't in the trenches for that Virginia?
That place is going to be.
I thought Chase was the leader of the.
That place is going to be.
Dude, it was my brother that got me on him because he was like, dude, I'm telling you, Liberty, and this was like 3 years ago. He was just like, I'm telling you, Liberty is the thing, and like we would just text back and back, Liberty, 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 Liberty. Every time they'd score a touchdown, it's great. I'm on the Hugh Freeze bandwagon. I'm not going to bet this because I have no idea how Auburn's going to look. And I'm not a psychopath. North Texas and Cal.
One of my favorite plays of the week.
Speaking of psychopaths.
All right. Me and Larson, we liked this game before too, because I think Cal is going to be shitty, boo-boo, awful. Home dog, North Texas, good offense. And get this. So I just read this the other day. I'd already put this in when I read this. Cal, complained and petitioned to ESPN to get the time of the game changed because they said it was going to be too hot.
Wow.
Soft.
I texted
That's in North Texas at Denton, home dog. They're gonna. It's at 3:30 or 4 o'clock. They're gonna whip the hell out of them.
I'm on it.
North Texas +7
I'm on
money
North
line.
Texas
Those
+7.
boys don't want to play in the heat. They don't want to play ball. They're gonna get fucking stomped. North Texas.
Yeah.
I
completely
agree.
I got +9.5 a few months ago. I texted Jake and said, this line's going to move. This team sucks. Cal's horrible. I think North Texas wins outright. I really believe that. So
I took a money line at like +215.
Yeah,
Listen, North Texas is a respectable program, but
they are.
Cal to be the little betas to travel to North Texas.
Facts.
The state of your program's got to be.
And then asked to get the time moved. And
Ask-
then
ask
What
to
the
get the
hell?
time moved.
You don't have the
Fuck
power
off.
to get the time moved. If Alabama asked, they were getting it.
No, actually, they agreed, and North Texas's coach said no, which I love. Like,
Yeah.
why would you ever say yes?
That's crazy.
You know who Cal plays next week?
Auburn.
Auburn.
That's gonna be
Cal.
good.
I'm about to hit
Data.
-35.5 on Auburn this week, and I'm betting it again next week. I love it.
Yeah.
That makes me
Auburn
feel
will
good.
crush them.
all right, guys, USC and Nevada.
Oh, thanks.
Yes.
I mean, what are we doing
I already
here?
lost.
Alex has to bet
I'm
the over
done.
again.
I'm already done with USC for the year.
I'm done with
They
USC.
can go to hell.
Yeah, I'm
I
done
will
with them.
take over 63.5.
It's a good
Yeah.
play.
Baby
It
shuts
is.
off defense.
It is.
That's a good play.
Hold up, I'm putting it on the board. I mean, I might take the over in every USC game because they can't play defense and they're just going to score a bunch of points. Houston and UTSA, I pick them.
This is going to be I think this is going to be a sneaky good game. I don't have a pick. Me and Larson are both high on UTSA this year, but that should be a good game. I think if you made a pick, I'd say.
Where is that?
UTSA. It's at
Where is
Houston.
What I mean,
I took UTSA money line when they were even, so it was basically just -110. Yeah, I think UTSA. I'm super high on them. I think they're New Year's Bowl worthy this year. So, and I don't trust Houston. Houston's gonna struggle. So
That's going to be a big game for them.
Me-
Just these two fan bases.
I also bet this game last year, and it went to double overtime, and I won. So, can I make it 2 years in a row?
Washington State and Colorado State.
yawn.
Like a little nappy.
Yeah, that's not
Baylor and Texas State. Jesus. Texas A&M and New Mexico. No.
I thought about betting the under there, which then I felt because is New Mexico going to score? But
38.5 is crazy. Do we know who's calling plays yet? Has that been confirmed?
I don't think we know officially, right? He hasn't said. Jimbo hasn't said.
It wouldn't surprise me if Jimbo hasn't figured it out yet. That guy is such a. I hate Jimbo Fisher. Good Lord. And he's going to come out and cover. He's not as bad as Billy Napier. I'll tell you that much, though.
Penn State and West Virginia.
I got two on this. On this.
Go ahead. You can go first.
I think West Virginia is going to be bad this year, which is unfortunate because I like West Virginia. I've always liked West Virginia, the Pat White, Steve Slayton. And Penn State. All right, Chase, shut the fuck up. Throw me off. So here's the thing with Penn State this year. If Penn State doesn't do it this year, they're never going to do it. Their defense should be special. They got NFL talent on the O-line. They should have a top 5 pick at left tackle. They got a 5-star quarterback. They got the defense could be mid 2010s Bama, 21 Georgia level. They're good. Nick Singleton at running back piece. They got some wide receivers out of the portal. Like I said, 5-star QB. They should cover 21. I also took the under here because if their defense is what everybody says it's going to be, that this game ain't getting 50. They're not scoring 50 on West Virginia by themselves, and then West Virginia.
Yeah, Chase loves to talk about this coach getting fired, that coach getting fired. You know who's getting fired this year is Neil Brown.
Neil Brown.
West Virginia is absolutely. Yeah, West Virginia is absolutely dog shit. I would not be surprised if they get blown out 56-7. I mean, they are a terrible football team. And Jake said it. Jake just went through Penn State has got first-round talent everywhere. Offense, defense, and most importantly, in the trenches. I mean, I saw this and couldn't believe it. Penn State -19.5. Whatever you get it on, take it. Whatever you get it on.
I was going to say, if it doesn't happen now, then Penn State's never going to make the playoffs, but we're going to a 12-team playoff. But this is literally if we were staying at 4 teams, this would be all right, if you don't get it now, you're never doing it.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more.
I looked at what the first half line was. I saw some 10.5 and 11.5. I found a 9.5 someplace here in Arkansas, so I'm going to take Penn State -9.5 for the first half. That feels like
Yeah, I mean, they should dominate.
It should be, right.
If I lose this bet, it will be fuck Penn State all year long. I mean,
So
all year long.
I parlayed, since we've gone through all of them, I parlayed, it was Tennessee, Ohio State, Penn State, and TCU. All big spreads, but 4 good teams playing 4 bad teams. Like, let's not overcomplicate things at a certain.
I don't mind that.
Hey, Alex's theory last week worked for Notre Dame. He was spot on.
One's good, one's bad. There you go.
South Carolina, North Carolina.
This is a great game.
Stay away
I'm excited.
from me.
Yeah, I'm staying away. I side with North Carolina. I think they're going to win, but I'm not betting on that. That game should be good. Texas Tech, Wyoming.
Wyoming's frisky. Watch out for Wyoming.
Yeah, I really like Wyoming, actually. I got 14.5 with them. It's a great bet. I think Wyoming's going to be so good this year in the Mountain West. So, and Texas Tech will be good too. Like, Texas Tech is a popular pick. I just think at Wyoming is a sneaky spot. Texas Tech, Oregon.
This is not a time to lay points on Tech. This is just a terrible game to lay points for Texas Tech on.
What's the total?
Yeah.
I want to say it's 54-ish.
I don't have the spreads. That might be interesting.
But
Wyoming's got a pretty good defense is the thing.
Weren't you talking up Texas Tech's offense all offseason?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying this is not the spot to lay points on Texas Tech.
You got a 50.5 for the total in that one.
The spot will be next week when they lose to Wyoming or win by 3, and everyone's like, "Wow, they must suck."
That's a great point. This is a close game, and then we turn around and we bet
hard Texas
Tech next week, and there's another game coming later with the exact same spot. I love it.
Alabama, Middle Tennessee State. Anything? 39.5.
I think Alabama wins.
You think they win?
Yeah, no shit.
I think you missed that one.
Illinois.
Yeah.
Oh, you got something in that?
Oh no, I was just gonna say I'm waiting on. I'll deal with Bama next week.
Illinois, Toledo. Anything? Tulane, South Alabama.
I got South Alabama +7.
Really?
Yes,
Tulane's
a good one.
Go look at the public numbers.
I know. I'm looking.
Yeah,
at them now.
They're the most.
I see 90.
Team. Yeah, they're the most publicly bet team, and the line dropped from Tulane -7.5 to -6.5.
Yeah, that's
that makes.
South Alabama is actually a really good team too.
They almost beat UCLA last year.
Right, they're a good team, and they return. Their quarterback comes back, their receivers come back, their running back comes back, their offensive linemen, basically everyone from their offense last year. There was a really good offense, and their defense, a top 25 defense last year, returns a lot of D-line, linebacker, stuff like that. They play Southeastern Louisiana next week, so there's no look ahead here. Tulane's at Ole Miss, so this is the spot too where I think South Alabama's live to win this game, and then we turn around next week and we take Tulane against Ole Miss. Is probably the play.
I like that. All right, I'm sold. I'm sold. God, look at this work we're just putting in.
Come on,
you just don't get this anywhere else.
You really don't.
All right, South Alabama +6.5. Put it on the.
Yeah, Larson has the rationale. I did this purely just fading the public, and Larson's rationale makes me feel even better about it.
I just went on Twitter and searched Tulane -6.5 and see all these people on their accounts talking about what an easy pick, and I was like, all right, we're good, we're fine.
Yeah.
Virginia Tech and Old Dominion. This game happens every year, and
every year.
I swear to God, they play every single season. I kind of want to take Old Dominion. I just think Virginia Tech's.
I feel like Old Dominion beats them every year too. I don't ever remember Virginia Tech winning.
If you ask me without looking it up, I would say that Old Dominion's won 2 out of the last 3. Actually,
I really think so. Yeah.
All right, to the nightcap, guys. This is a good one. Coastal Carolina and UCLA.
That's such a fun matchup. It's a stupid. I just want to. Yeah, I bet it's the 11 o'clock game too. That's just a fun, stupid matchup. I like that. I'm not going to bet it, but
I guess we're just going to skip over Army and UL Monroe like that.
Yeah, I hope we do. Get your pick out. I'm so against the service teams. They shouldn't have football teams, or they should be FCS programs. They are terrible. All right, go ahead.
I'm going to copy your strategy. I'll take UL Monroe +10.5.
Cool.
I like it.
Okay.
Cool.
All right, I guess to Sunday now. Sunday football. Wow. We really are here, boys.
We are
back. What about Northwestern and Rutgers?
Yes.
Oh, that's Sunday. My bad.
That's a great game. Northwestern and Rutgers. I'll be watching it. If you don't think I'm up 12 o'clock drinking, tailgating for the LSU game, watching Northwestern and Rutgers, you have no idea who I am.
That's a dream.
40.5.
It's tough.
It's going to be awful.
I actually want to take Rutgers. I think Rutgers will
I think
Rutgers.
Yeah, they'll be solid.
And Northwestern sucks.
I'm not going to take Rutgers just yet. I'm going to wait for them to be underdogs. That's when Greg Schiano is at his best, man. When he's an underdog. So I'm going to lay off Rutgers, but love Schiano.
Oregon State and San Jose State. I'm going to go Oregon State minus 16.5.
That's a low spread.
Yep. Yeah,
it is.
Yet I see.
Makes me wonder why that is.
I see public on San Jose State.
And San Jose moved it pretty well last week.
Yeah.
They moved the ball pretty well, but Oregon State's got a much better defense than USC.
I know. That's what I'm saying. Like I think Oregon State's as good, or if not better, than USC. Like as an all-around team.
I don't hate that actually.
I'm not going to touch that.
All right, game of the week. God, this is going to make
game of the week.
I'm legitimately going to puke. LSU and FSU.
I'm not touching this one. I hate everything about it.
Listen, guys, I don't think I haven't bet on LSU to win in the last 4 years. So eventually, I'm not going to put it on the board and say, "Hey, take it." But when 7:30 rolls around, I will have a somewhat money.
I have a bet on LSU to win, but it's with an FSU fan, and it's purely out of pride. Like I would never tell somebody to bet on LSU. Okay.
I think betting on your own team is bad practice, and I used to never do it. And then last year, I hung the moon on Georgia against Ohio State and paid for it dearly. So I'm back to I don't bet on my own team.
Oh, I did too, and I told myself Ohio State all the time, but I lost a big bet on Michigan, so I pussied out and went with the dog.
I had
Ohio State the whole.
I had a TCU money line and Ohio State money line parlay that almost hit. Just trying to be a jackass out, and it almost hit. Oh my God!
Last year,
was like
is anyone going to take this LSU game?
So last year in this game, you couldn't find anybody who was picking Florida State, and so I sprinkled a little bit on Florida State, and it happened. This year, I kind of feel the same way, just in terms of I don't feel like I'm finding anybody that's picking Florida State. That's just based off what I've seen.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah, everybody is on LSU.
Look it up, right? I don't think you. Yeah, and LSU's getting a lot of the public bet.
Yeah, I don't like
it. So it's just weird, and I sprinkled a little bit on Florida State. It's not a lock for me, but it's a little something.
I think that's fair. Honestly, if I was trying to be not an LSU fan, I probably would. Just because I see everybody, and it's not just Florida State, this Florida State game. It's LSU over Bama. It's LSU's going to Atlanta. It's like LSU's making the college football playoff. Like, I don't like this. I hate it.
Personally.
I hate it.
I don't understand. LSU is just like a cool school to root for. I feel like unless you have a rivalry with them, I feel like a lot of people like LSU and they are like, they're going to be good. Like they want them to be good. And it's almost like a Texas thing too. Like I just when I knowing as much as I do about this team, like that secondary has problems. And these Florida State wide receivers and Jordan Travis have the potential to light them up. Offensively, I think LSU can light them up too. If I was going with anything in this game, it would be the over. And 57 is a lot of points, and I know they only scored 47 last year, but if you look at how good each team was at the end of the year compared to it's totally different.
They are completely different teams. I agree with that completely. I mean, they scored 10 less points than the team total this year, and they had turnover after turnover. I mean, it was the ugliest game ever. I saw Mark Zeno, talk about how it was the best game ever last year, and I wanted to comment on it and be like, dude, everybody who wasn't a Florida State fan hated watching that game. It was the only game on, and they all looked like donkey shit. I couldn't believe he said that.
But you couldn't find a better last 2 minutes though.
Yeah, it was an exciting ending, but that's about it.
The fumble at the goal line.
It was a terrible ending. Who wants to win on a missed extra point?
I
mean, up until that point, I guess sure.
I mean, I would have liked it to go to OT, and we would have won. I would have liked us to win too. I would have liked a lot of things, man. It just didn't happen.
Y'all's season ended up okay though.
Yeah,
I mean, it was,
for we could lose every game and beat Bama, and I would be
we did beat the shit out of Purdue in the bowl game, baby.
That's true.
I love how we played Purdue with no players.
Everything that I lost on that Georgia Ohio State game, I won back on Purdue LSU. I was like, this is about to be. To quote
that was the biggest joke
I've
ever. That was the biggest joke of a game I've ever watched. Like it wasn't even fair. It was like walk-ons versus a team.
I just kept every day I would wake up and I would just put more on it. I'm like LSU is gonna fucking murder these guys, and that's exactly what happened.
All right, last game, Duke Clemson. I like
Ratty
Duke
line.
12.5.
Ratty line. I agree.
I like the Blue Devils.
If I
The
had
number-
to choose,
the number
I would
would-
choose Clemson. I think Clemson's going to be really damn good this year. I guess I just believe in the quarterback. That's really it.
I have
'cause
Clemson
they're
making the
still-
college football playoff, but I think Duke's good, and I think it's week 1, and it's at home, and it's on a Monday night prime time. Like, listen, Duke is going to be up for this game more than they've been up for a game in a long time. Clemson going to Duke. I know it's week 1, so that gives you a little juice, but you're still going to Duke. Like, that's not the same. And Duke's pretty good. And Clemson, while I do think their offense might be good at the end of the year, could struggle. Like, think about LSU. Could struggle at the beginning of the year.
Yeah, wasn't it last year? Was it last year on the Monday they played Georgia Tech and it was like a close game? It first half was like kind of close.
Yeah.
I think it was Clemson. Yeah, Clemson, Georgia Tech. And I think Georgia Tech covered like both halves.
No, Georgia Tech didn't cover the full game though because Dabo ran it up with a minute left.
Okay.
Pissed me off. But yeah, it was weird.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, Duke was good last year.
Their schedule's harder this year, but they could be a better overall team, I think.
Yeah, I like Duke. All right, we done? We got the picks in?
I think we're
Go
good.
Tigers.
That wraps it up, baby. Let's win some cash, boys.
Yeah.
Let's win some cash.
I'll have
We
a
didn't
winning
sit
record
here for
before
40
next week.
minutes not to win straight cash. And if you watch this, I hope you win some cash too.